So welcome once again, friends, to the Scarlette and Jade Show. It's February 21st, 2021, and this week we'll be discussing DS roles and BDSM acronyms. Jade, I'd like you to do our opening disclaimers for our lovely viewers. Please take it away.
Yes, madam. One moment, please. Just bringing up my docs.
You should be prepared this time.
I apologize.
Punishments later.
Okay, folks, here's the disclaimer, boilerplate. Following program is for all ages 18 and over. In most municipalities, if not higher, mature viewership discretion is highly advised. The information contained in the following video and subsequent videos is intended for informational use only. While medical advice is presented in some of these features, it is not intended or predicated to be used as directed, or medical advice for individual viewers is preferred. Please consult your personal physician or therapist before engaging or taking in any actions that may be presented herein. The following information is for, as stated, educational purposes only and not intended for use without proper training and in many cases supervision. Please practice any of the following techniques safely and with the principles of RAC and SSC in mind. That is, risk-aware consensual kink and safe, sane, and consensual kink or play. The Scarlette and Jade Show and its members, crew, cast, and direction is not liable for any mishaps or accidents, medical or otherwise, that may occur as a result of the following advice as presented in this program. Please seek professional medical help if you are in distress and call your local emergency services if needed.
Very good. Okay, so a small piece of housekeeping, please. I need to put this out there. While I really enjoy people reaching out and contacting me, asking me for advice, or in many cases wanting to be one of my subs, I would please request that you ask me politely on my page that I'll provide you on the link below. And instead of just messaging me, instead of getting rude or petulant when I haven't been able to respond in the time that you feel suits you, which in my world does not work, obviously. I'm quite busy putting this together as well as my full-time job, so please be patient and realize that I can't quite possibly dominate all of you as much as it would be pleasing. Advice I'm always happy to address, and we will be having shows where people can write in questions and we will address them further to assist and educate. The following will not be close to an exhaustive list of what is out there, and we'll cover more as the show continues, but this will be a good starter package and list of information. And really, if we threw all of the information on these topics alone at you in one sitting, your head would be spinning. And as fun as that might be for me, this is about educating all of you and helping you out so that you can find your way, be informed, and even refresh some of us that may have been in the community for a while. Now, Jade, I'd like you to continue on, please.
Yes, madam. Let's at the bottom here. My notes are scattered all over the place. Common acronyms will be discussed today, such as the admittedly self-explanatory DS, which is simply dom and sub, or it can stand for dominant and submissive, relationship or lifestyle.
Or domination and submission.
Yes, ma'am. The primary focus is, above all else today, on roles. Now, these will be shortened descriptions and explanations because, frankly, as Madame has said, one can do an entire 2-hour segment and still not have time for each role and possibly even the entire explanation. We just could keep going on and on. These will hopefully give you some idea of what to expect and what to start exploring, if anything, and see if anything piques your curiosity or interest. Some of these you may have even seen in porn, and it must be noted that porn quite often, and this is from and said as an actress in the industry, this takes things to unrealistic extremes. Let's be honest, you're not going to be able to fuck an 18-inch silicone horsecock on your first try. I know.
All right. So, well, that was a pleasant visual. Thank you so much for that. And I'm sure some of our audience members will be going, wow, how do we consider this possibility? Don't. Your poor brain will break, and other things that break, so just don't do that. I'm like, unless you're into that, that's fine. It's not my place to judge, obviously. That's not my thing to say that you should or shouldn't, but as we said before, practice safely. So some common terms and rules in kink we'll be discussing today, though it's not an exhaustive list. So cuck, cuckolds, cuck queens, property, submissive, slave, boy, girl, or neutral, kitten, littles, which includes age ranges, and that's a massive topic. I mean, we would take a good couple of days talking about that alone. Daddies and mommies, princess, prince, rope bunnies, painslets, riggers, mistress and master, dom with an ME. A lot of the females now like prefer dom for dominant, but that's kind of a common thing because people like to leave it gender neutral, which is perfectly fine. But sometimes online, we like to differentiate by putting dom with the me at the end to indicate you want female or you're dealing with female. I don't know. It's a preference. It really doesn't matter. I'm used to that because of the years I've been around, but it's just to differentiate between the two if you really want to say something. And you might get overloaded by people saying, oh, I'm a dom, and then it's the wrong one for the person. They're kind of like, but I'm confused. So sometimes it's easier to put it out there that way. Dominatrix, sub and submissive, the top or bottom, which is of course, yes, the bottom right over there. Switch, which is somebody who goes between the dominant and submissive roles. A masochist, which is somebody who loves the pain. And a sadist, which is somebody who loves delivering the pain. Hi. Boy or boi, boy, that's used as an adjective. Baby, which is somebody who likes to dress as a baby. Boy, girl, findom, which is another hot button topic, financial domination. Pay pigs, human ATMs, bulls, ponies, and pets, furries. And people have a lot of problem with furries and stuff like that. Not in the real world, just because they figure, oh my gosh, that's just so wrong. Well, you don't know why the person wants to dress up, and who cares? It's role play. Leave them alone. Who cares? Just stop that. Stop judging. Furries, pack, primal, which is of course primal is taken as a primal type instinct, like very, very strong instinct, like an animal, very animalistic, very, very right in the moment, which is a phenomenal thing to do. Crossdresser, toys, lady, and lord. Jade, go ahead.
So we're covering a bunch of stuff today. Let's see.
You run the other terms.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, yes. So some of the more derisive terms that we can discuss today. Not everything is happy rainbow land in BDSM, unfortunately. A lot of terms such as the fetish delivery system, which is a derisive term for those used to simply use other people for kink and then use them to ditch them. The old guard, if you will. That's another one. Mentor mentee, pretty self-explanatory there. Stable and harem.
I've used both.
I've
had both.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have one now.
House and triad. Polycule. Polycule is another one that's not really exclusive to the BDSM community. It's just used a lot. Swinger, another one, not really exclusive to the BDSM community, but very common now. Dungeon monitor.
Yep, been there, done that lots of times.
Got the t-shirt.
No.
No? Oh.
No.
Let's see, fetishist, kinkster, what we are, hedonist, just, all right, really easy way to describe hedonist. For anyone who's seen the show Futurama, I mean, hedonism bot, right there. Like, that's the one right there.
Good explanation. Like that. Hopefully they're not watching this. Or maybe they can. I don't care. I mean, like.
Newbie. I mean, anyone who even games a little bit should be familiar with that term. Newbie, someone who's new to lifestyle. Right there, simple. Pervert. In BDSM, not a bad thing, not a derisive term. Often use the term of endearment.
Yep.
Vanillas. All y'all. Okay, purposely derisive terms. Often used as warnings, but sometimes used directly and implicitly. Topping from the bottom, something we all hate. At least any of us with a brain. Yeah. Often abbreviated as TFOBs for nouns. Twoo, the twoo way. Yeah, this is a mocking gesture. Those who claim they have the true way of BDSM. Trolls, same in every community. We have them. They exist. They're just annoying. They can be harmful, but mostly annoying. Uber top, dom, sub, slave. Simply put, the domiest dom whoever dommed, or the slaviest slave whoever slaved.
And there'll be people that are in the community who, oh, I'm a dom that's, so I'm so good at what I do and I'm teaching people the right way. Well, you know what? The right way is not necessarily the right way for everybody. And this is why we do this show, because we're doing it in our way that we've learned and things that we've come across and things that we've discovered and other people we've talked to and listened to over the years. And there's no one way to do things, but the one thing I will always drive home in every single show is consent, respect, and consent. Those two things I will not waver from ever, and it should not be even a consideration to go against in the community. And that just drives me crazy, because some people will think, oh, well, I don't need to be respectful or get consent. Yes, you do. You absolutely freaking do. I'm
I
sorry,
mean,
but it's
if it's not consent, it's rape, essentially. I mean, that's the only thing that separates it.
we don't advocate that at all.
No,
Sorry,
no.
but no, that's a hard no. I mean, there's consensual non-consent, big difference, obviously. Now, we
Right.
were talking about some of these, the roles and stuff like that in the community, like the slaves and submissives, not necessarily the same thing. I mean, Jade, what would you say the difference between a slave and a submissive is?
Uh, quite frankly, Madame, sub has more autonomy, and sub is not taken quite as seriously. I mean, as far as like themselves, taking themselves as seriously as a slave does. Slave lives a life of 24/7 CNC. I mean, and a sub does not.
Right.
A sub is basically your just average everyday person who happens to be sexually submissive.
Yeah. Or physically or emotionally, because
Right,
of the position they want to put themselves into. Now, of course, you've got things like your pain sluts, people who absolutely are true masochists for pain. They relish it, they thrive on it. It's just something that they crave. And riggers, people who love rope work. Oh boy. And sometimes there's such exquisite rope work out there. There's shibari, there's a whole pile of other wonderful, and it's art. It's just
it
beautiful
really
art.
is.
Yeah. And then
Gorgeous.
people will wear it under their clothes, people will wear it, and play, and people just love that closeness, that feeling. They'll use things like duct tape or saran wrap, other things like that. There's all sorts of host of wonderful things you can use that are inexpensive in comparison. We'll do a whole show on that kind of stuff. Budget fun for everyone. So we're talking about kitties and littles. Now, littles, it's a huge hot button topic. You're talking about the daddy doms, littles, caregivers, things like that. People get so freaked out about that stuff, and it bothers me because these are adults. They're adults. There is nothing else involved. They're just people who are role playing in the way that they need to. And I'm going to get onto event in just a second. We can look back to a couple of other terms. And my event for today, and we're going to have these almost every single episode because I have a vent about everything, and I'm sure Jade does too. So judgment inside and outside the community. When people are playing and partaking in a lifestyle that they want or need to, and it's between two or more consenting adults, it shouldn't concern anyone else or trouble their thoughts. If nothing is illegal and it's above board and between two consenting adults or more, what you do and what they do to get off, what do you do getting off saying, ew, that's gross or disgusting? What you don't understand. You don't know it. You don't understand it. Don't judge it. Do I judge you for having a vanilla lifestyle? Do I judge you for dressing the way you do or talking? You know what? It's not my business what you do or what you do in your bedroom. If you're doing missionary, whatever, I don't care. None of my business. If you're happy about it, go ahead. Do not sit there and judge other people in the community who are doing it between consenting adults and agreeing to a certain lifestyle and the way they play. Leave them the hell alone. Sorry, that is not even, I'm not even going to go back down on that. If people come at me, go right ahead. I don't care. So I'm hearing things like, how dare you dress the way you do? Because obviously it means you have those thoughts in your head. No, not even remotely close. Some people's kinks are about reclaiming something might have lost or never had, like a feeling, closeness, a childhood they never got to live, a physical touch or emotion, psychological connections. It's a vast array of possibilities of why people do the things they do. And it's connections. It's all about connections. And there's so many reasons that they do what they do in the community, and they have a need or love for play. And sometimes it's just plain fun. But if someone is dressing in a cute pinafore, diapers, whatever they choose to do, and it's consenting adults involved, where is it anywhere in that moment that another person's brain decides, oh, that's wrong because it makes me think this? Me, no, it's not about you. about you. It is about them. And then it's on you for having those thoughts. So stop judging others for doing their adult play their way. End of vent. You have anything to add to that?
Just to capitalize on that, Madame, I mean, it's very prevalent and very needed to hear you say that because, I mean, at least here in the States, it's especially illegal to partake in anything that might be considered sodomy or outright sadism in upwards of 12 states down here. And yeah, exactly. Like in, I believe it's Arkansas currently, is illegal to have anal sex.
Yeah, you can guarantee that a whole pile of people are doing it. And I'm sorry, are people going to be coming in going, oh my God, you can't do that? Why? What does it involve you? It doesn't. It doesn't involve you at all. You don't like it? Go ahead. Don't do it. Nobody cares what you're doing. If somebody else wants to do it and they're in their own house, it's consenting adults. You know what? Bugger off. Go away. Done with that. So we have about 40 minutes left for recording here. So let's just keep going on. We're going to go forward with the acronyms. And I'm going to have bounce back and forth with you, Jade, so we can do some very small definitions. And of course, people are going to be like, well, can't you give me more? Well, we're going to have a limited amount of recording just because there's so much information we've already thrown at you today. So we'll play along here, okay? So we've got an acronym, which is ABDL, which is Adult Baby Diaper Lover. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Somebody who likes to dress up as a baby. It's an adult dressing as a baby. You know, we're wearing diapers. B&D, bondage and discipline. Pretty self-explanatory. Most people would understand it. So bondage, of course, you know, tighten ropes, handcuffs, ties, silk, whatever you want to do. And discipline could be spanking, could be any number of different things. BDSM, Jade.
BDSM, I have no clue what that one is.
I didn't think you did. Why you have me?
Of course. I mean, BDSM, of course, is bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism. Although, I mean, different parts of the community differentiate this differently. I mean, but it all stands for essentially the same thing.
Next.
Next, we have CBT, which is cock and ball torture. And then,
that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't
right.
think and I mean, I could go into some very big details. I'm sure a lot of you might like that, and I'm sure a lot of you would be running and wincing in the other direction. So we'll just go after that. So DM, Dungeon Monitor, which I have had the role of that, doing that quite often, and two wonderful results, and sometimes stopping some extremely stupid things. Just saying. DS, Dominance and Submission. DTTAH, don't try this at home. In some cases, this is a very, very important thing to note. If there are things that you should not be doing at home without supervision, don't do it, because you'll probably be calling 911 if you can still move. Just saying.
And then you'll quickly find yourself on an episode of Sex Sent Me to the ER.
There you go. EMC, erotic mind control. Lots of fun. I get involved in that quite a bit. It's awesome, awesome fun, and it gets people so hot and bothered. It's lovely. You're next. Go ahead.
Let's see. Next is Femme, which is simply an abbreviation for female, or Femdom is another really popular one. You'll find that in porn all the time, or in really any oriented chat room. Next, we have FFF or FMF or FMM. Now, basically, these are threesome abbreviations. We have F for female, M for male. You're smart people. You can put them together.
The next will be mine. So DD and LG, it's daddy, dom, and little girl. That's a subset of dominance and submission. And the lifestyle is more of a nurturing, caring relationship between, you know, daddy, dom, and the little girl. Again, adults. I can't stress enough the words adults. These are two consenting adults or more, depending on what it is. They are adults who like to role play, you know, like you dress up for Halloween. Similar kind of premise, just their lifestyle instead. There are no children involved. It is two adults. Adults. Get it out of your head if you have another bad thought about that, because I have nothing to say to you otherwise. So CNC, consensual non-consent. Some people look at our community, and this is what blows my mind, honestly, where I see people going, oh my God, well, you're doing all this. And then they watch TV shows or movies or read books where people are doing all these things to each other. And they're thinking, these people are awful and they're terrible and they're doing these cruel and nasty things to each other. I can guarantee you every step of the way. And I've been involved in community for over 30 years, and not once have I done something without communicating to the other party or parties before doing anything. There is always a contract or a visual, like a verbal or written, but mostly written contract beforehand with the terms laid out and understood between the parties. That is called consensual. And then, of course, the non-consent would be making it look like it's non-consenting, but it really is. So what you're seeing there is only part of the party there.
Just, it's a big thing in porn, especially. I mean, as far as like the darker elements. I mean, CNC, I mean, yeah, there's a whole big contract thing you have to fill out beforehand, whole legal adjustments and all that. But what you're seeing on the screen as a viewer, you're just seeing the NC part. Yeah. But see, it sells the illusion.
All right, so I'm going to continue with over the knee, which is spanking, paddling, anything like that. And a lot of people love that. Gut feelings, just some people find it so incredibly sensual. It's one of my favorite things to do. And a lot of people enjoy it a great deal, especially guys. They love to be thrown right over the knee, and then, just get that sweet spot, and it's fantastic. Prick, which is, a lot of people are going to get the wrong thing in their head, and that's what I'm not what I'm saying. Yeah, dirty birds. All right, so it's personal responsibility and consensual kink. So you're responsible for your actions and taking responsibility for parties. You might be responsible for the other person's party if that's what you've handed over, or if they've handed that over to you as well. Rack, go ahead.
One of my favorites, risk-aware consensual kink. Now, if that were abbreviated a different way, the R, A, and K would be lowercase and the C would be uppercase, because the keyword is consensual.
Mm-hmm. Next.
S&M, sadism and masochism. Pretty self-explanatory there. Yeah. If you're really that confused in sadism and masochism, guys, come on, dictionary is right there. Google's at your fingertips.
We already told you. The next one is appropriate for you to mention too.
Sam, smart-ass masochist.
Mm-hmm.
Madame calls me that all the time.
Yes, because you are. And then we handle you, don't we? Yes, yes. SSC, something I'm used to from way back in the early days.
Safe, sane, and consensual pretty much should be the motto of BDSM.
I'm sorry, did you get permission to talk?
Sorry about that.
You just kind of interrupted right over top of me there.
I do apologize.
Next time I'm going to gag you so you can't talk until I take the gag off.
Yes, madame. Right.
T and D, tease and denial, which I'm doing currently to her. TIH, taken in hand, which means that the person is taking control of the situation. TPE, total power exchange. So that again releases your power to that other person, and they can take control of you. So the TIH, taken in hand. Daddy Dom, little girl, we talked about that. DD can also stand for domestic discipline. CG&L, go ahead.
CG&L, caregiver and little. Pretty self-explanatory given what we've discovered so far or discussed.
Right.
PE, power exchange.
Yeah.
Sort of like TPE, which is total power exchange. Very similar dynamic.
SPH, one thing I'm very good at, which is small penis humiliation. Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, and a lot of people like that, like that type of kink. That's their thing. And again, don't judge people. You don't know why, you don't know how. Sometimes people are just in control constantly, and they like to just let go and have that control taken, so that way they can say somebody else is in control. You take the wheel, go ahead and do what you're going to do. But we have that consent beforehand, obviously. I would like you to do the next 4.
Yes, madame. CFNM, another big porn tag that some of you may know. Clothed female, naked male. Pretty self-explanatory right there. A lot of these are self-explanatory, but the acronyms can be tricky. CP, corporal punishment. WS, golden showers, also known as water sports. And polyamorous. Again, another tag not exclusive to the BDSM community, but good to know.
And I will do my favorite one last, which is YKINMKBYKIOK. Don't bother just memorizing it, forget it, because it's a big long one and your tongue's gonna be like la 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 la. Forget it. But the whole point of it is, your kink is not my kink, but your kink is okay. Now, you don't necessarily have to have that person's permission. Nobody cares necessarily, But it's one of those things where I'm not going to judge you because you have a different kink than my own. And people shouldn't, because you're still learning. And maybe you'll learn you don't like that kink. Maybe you'll learn, hey, I do like this kink because you tried a different way. Again, don't judge. Judgment is a terrible thing, especially when it comes to this community, because we try to remain open-minded and available and aware to people. And in our situation, we try to do this show so that we can bring awareness and education to people that come by and listen to us rattling on, because we're so much fun to watch and so much fun to listen to. But we're very much a large part of the community, and my avocation is to educate and help people along. And I've helped a number of women and men in the community, and I keep doing it. And I love it because people come in completely unaware, they're new, they don't have any ideas. And some people have been in the community for a long time and need a little upgrading, or just need a little bit of a more of a push to understand really what's going on. And maybe they've learned things a different way, and then there's another way to learn them, which is always a good thing about education. There's always a different way to look at things. Now, I'm going to finish talking because, I think we've rattled off an awful lot today, but I'm going to be putting the information down below for Madam Scarlette on Facebook. That'll be a page where people can ask questions, ask advice. I'll put links to our videos and other things that we're putting up, and goodies that will be coming forth. Website, which I'll be building as well, so we can put more fun stuff up for people to go rifle through. We'll also be making scripts for people to play with in case they haven't got, that impetus to be able to go, hey, I've got the imagination. And some people don't know how to propel the imagination, and that's where we come along and have a little fun helping you out. Sometimes it's full time, and for some people, it's just play in the bedroom. And you know what? It's all okay. We just want you to be safe. And again, adults and consenting, safe, sane, consensual. Consenting adults, play safe. Jade, any last remarks before we leave here?
I had a few, but they kind of flitted out of my head.
Not uncommon for you.
This is true. Well, if I have anything to add, I'll just put it in text on the below.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for showing up to our show, and hopefully you enjoyed what we had to say here. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask at Madam Scarlette on Facebook or on the video below. Thanks so much for coming by. Hope to see you next week. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.